Howdy, folks. We're here at the gravesite of Johnny Ringo. We're going to go and do a little tour of the gravesite. It is on private property, so be aware of that. But you can go in there. Just be respectful of the man's property. I did a lot of research about Johnny Ringo and how he died. There's a lot of stories. I thought it was going to be pretty straightforward, but the more I dug into the researching, I came up with so much. So I'm going to take it all, bundle it up into a nice little package for you, and I'll be playing that right after the intro, and then we're going to go ahead and tour the gravesite itself. So I hope you like the video, and like and subscribe, please.
John Peters Ringo, better known as Johnny Ringo, was a notorious figure of the American Old West. Born on May 3, 1850, he became infamous for his association with the Cochise County Cowboys in the bustling frontier town of Tombstone, Arizona. His criminal career kicked off during the Mason County War in Texas, where he committed his first murder and faced charges for it. Ringo was closely linked with several notorious characters of the era, including Cochise County Sheriff Johnny Bean, Ike Clanton, and Frank Stillwell. He had a memorable showdown with Doc Holliday and was suspected by Wyatt Earp of being involved in the attempted murder of Virgil Earp and the ambush that killed Morgan Earp. Ringo's life came to a mysterious end when he was found dead with a bullet injury to his temple, officially ruled a suicide. However, modern theories suggest he might have been killed by Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Frank Leslie, or Michael O'Rourke. Johnny Ringo, born to Martin and Mary Peters Ringo, had distant Dutch roots and was born in Greens Fork, Indiana. In 1856, his family relocated to Liberty, Missouri. Through his Aunt Augusta Peters Inskip, who married Coleman P. Younger, Johnny was a distant cousin to the infamous Younger brothers. In 1858, the Ringo family moved to Gallatin, Missouri, where they rented property from John W. Sheets' father. Sheets later became the first official victim of the James Younger gang during their 1869 robbery of the Daviess County Savings and Loan Association. Tragedy struck on July 30, 1864, when Johnny was 14. While the family was traveling through Wyoming en route to California, Martin Ringo accidentally shot himself with a shotgun. The family buried him on a hillside along the trail. In 1869, Johnny Ringo left his family in San Jose, California, and moved to Mason County, Texas. There, he befriended Scott Cooley, an ex-Texas Ranger and the adopted son of rancher Tim Williamson. Trouble began when two rustlers, Elijah and Pete Backus, were lynched by a predominantly German mob. The conflict escalated on May 13, 1875, when Tim Williamson was arrested and murdered by a German farmer named Peter Badman Bader. Cooley and his friends, including Ringo, launched a terror campaign against their rivals, known as the Mason County War or Hoodoo War. Cooley retaliated by killing ex-Deputy Sheriff John Worley, scalping him, and tossing his body down a well. Cooley, already feared as a dangerous man, killed several others during the conflict. After the death of Cooley's supporter Moses Baird, Ringo and his friend Bill Williams murdered James Chaney on September 25, 1875. They then attempted to kill Dave Dould but fled when he came out armed. Later, Cooley and Ringo mistakenly killed Charlie Bader, thinking he was his brother Pete. Both were jailed in Burnett, Texas, but soon broke out with the help of friends. The Mason County War ended around November 1876, with about a dozen people killed. Cooley was thought to be dead, and Ringo, along with his friend George Gladden, was in jail. One of Ringo's cellmates was the notorious killer John Wesley Hardin. While Gladden was sentenced to 99 years, Ringo was acquitted. 2 years later, Ringo became a constable in Loyal Valley, Texas, before eventually traveling to Arizona. Johnny Ringo first arrived in Cochise County, Arizona Territory in 1879, accompanied by his friend Joseph Graves Olney, also known as Joe Hill. In December of that year, a drunken Ringo shot an unarmed Lewis Hancock in a Safford saloon after Hancock refused a whiskey, preferring beer instead. Fortunately, Hancock survived the incident. Upon reaching Tombstone, Ringo met Sam Purdy, the editor of the Tombstone Epitaph. Purdy later recounted their conversation, noting Ringo's grim outlook on his own life. In Tombstone, Ringo quickly gained a reputation for his bad temper and possibly participated in various crimes with the Cochise County Cowboys, a loosely organized group of outlaws. Local newspapers sometimes mistakenly referred to him as Ringold. In the 1882 Cochise County Great Register, Ringo described himself as a speculator. On January 17, 1882, Johnny Ringo and Doc Holliday had a heated confrontation that nearly led to a gunfight. Tombstone's chief of police, James Flynn, intervened and arrested both men for carrying weapons in town. They were fined by the judge. Judge William H. Stillwell then addressed outstanding charges against Ringo for robbery in Galeyville, leading to Ringo's rearrest and jailing on January 20th. The Earps suspected Ringo of being involved in the December 28, 1881, ambush that left Virgil Earp crippled for life and the March 18, 1882, murder of Morgan Earp while he was playing pool in a Tombstone saloon. Deputy U.S. Marshal Wyatt Earp and his posse killed Frank Stillwell in Tucson on March 20, 1882. Following the shooting, the Earps and a federal posse embarked on a vendetta to eliminate those they believed responsible for ambushing Virgil and Morgan Earp. Cochise County Sheriff Johnny Bean received warrants for the arrest of the Earps and Doc Holliday. He deputized Johnny Ringo and 19 other men, many of whom were friends of Stillwell and members of the Cochise County Cowboys. During the Earp vendetta ride, Wyatt Earp killed one of Ringo's closest friends, Curly Bill Brocious, in a gunfight at Iron Springs, about 20 miles from Tombstone. Earp later claimed that Florentino Cruz confessed to being the lookout at Morgan's murder and identified Ringo, Stillwell, Swilling, and Brocious as the killers. The local posse pursued the federal posse but never confronted them directly. Former Pima County Sheriff Bob Paul, who had been in Tombstone at the time, wrote a letter in 1898 stating that the Earp posse had informed Henry C. Hooker of their location, but Bean's posse went in the opposite direction. During Tombstone's 4th of July celebrations, Johnny Ringo indulged heavily in alcohol. 2 days later, he left town with several bottles of liquor for the journey. Deputy Billy Breckenridge encountered him near Dowell's Ranch in the South Pass of the Dragoon Mountains. Breckenridge noted that Ringo was extremely drunk and unsteady in the saddle. He tried to persuade Ringo to return with him to the Goodrich Ranch, but Ringo, being drunk and stubborn, refused and continued on his way. This was likely the last time Ringo was seen alive. Around 3 p.m. on July 13th, ranch hands at a nearby ranch heard a gunshot. Teamster James Yost discovered Johnny Ringo's body on July 14th, seated among a cluster of blackjack oaks in West Turkey Creek Valley, near Chiricahua Peak, Arizona Territory. His body had already turned black from the desert heat. Ringo's feet were wrapped in strips of cloth torn from his undershirt, indicating he had lost his horse, which had his boots tied to the saddle. The coroner's report noted a bullet hole in Ringo's right temple with an exit wound at the back of his head, suggesting the fatal shot was fired at an upward angle. His revolver was still in his right hand, and the hammer rested on an empty chamber. A knife cut was found at the base of his scalp. Ringo's horse was found 11 days later, about 2 miles away, with his boots still tied to the saddle. The coroner's inquest officially ruled his death a suicide. Ringo's body was buried near the tree where it was found, on private land. Despite the coroner's ruling and reports that Ringo had frequently threatened suicide, alternative theories about his death have emerged over the years. Some suggest the lack of powder burns on his head indicates he was shot from a distance, though the coroner's report did not mention powder burns, and his body was already decomposing. Robert Bowler, a member of the coroner's jury, maintained in 1934 that Ringo's death was a suicide, consistent with his original conclusion 52 years earlier. According to the book I Married Wyatt Earp, which Glenn Boyer claimed to have compiled from manuscripts by Josephine Marcus Earp, Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday returned to Arizona in early July and found Johnny Ringo camped in West Turkey Creek Valley. The book alleges that as Ringo tried to flee, Earp shot him with a rifle. However, Boyer refused to produce his source manuscripts, and his explanations were deemed conflicting and not credible. New York Times contributor Alan Barr stated that I Married Wyatt Earp is now recognized by Earp researchers as a hoax. Tombstone historian Ben T. Trewick found the story about Earp's involvement plausible, reasoning that Earp had sufficient motive and was likely in the area at the time. Near the end of his life, Earp reportedly detailed to a historian how he killed Ringo. Earp was interviewed in 1888 by an agent of historian Hubert H. Bancroft and in 1932 by Frank Lockwood, who wrote that Earp claimed to have killed Ringo as he left Arizona in March 1882, almost 4 months before Ringo's death. Earp repeated this story to at least 3 other people. However, in an 1896 interview with a reporter in Denver, Earp denied killing Ringo, though he later privately claimed he had. The Holliday theory is similar to the Earp theory, except that it alleges Doc Holliday killed Johnny Ringo. A variant of this theory, popularized by the movie Tombstone, suggests that Holliday stepped in for Wyatt Earp in response to a gunfight challenge from Ringo and shot him. Records from the Pueblo County, Colorado District Court show that Holliday and his attorney appeared in court on July 11th, 14th, and 18th, 1882, to answer charges of larceny. However, a writ of capias was issued for him on the 11th, suggesting he did not actually appear in court on that date. Ringo's body was found on July 14th. 6 days before Ringo's death, The Pueblo Daily Chieftain reported that Holiday was in Salida, Colorado, about 670 miles from Turkey Creek, Arizona, and then in Leadville, about 700 miles away, on July 18th. Additionally, there was still an arrest warrant outstanding for Holiday in Arizona for his involvement in Frank Stillwell's murder, making it unlikely he would have entered Arizona at that time. Some accounts suggest that Johnny Ringo's death was the work of Michael O'Rourke, an itinerant gambler. O'Rourke was arrested in Tucson in January 1881 on suspicion of murdering a mining engineer named Henry Schneider. Wyatt Earp reportedly protected O'Rourke from being lynched by a mob organized and led by Ringo. O'Rourke escaped from jail in April 1881 and never stood trial for the murder charges. The last documented sighting of O'Rourke was in the Chiricahua Mountains near Tombstone in May 1881, where he was seen well-mounted and equipped, presumably on his way out of the territory. From then on, he is mentioned only in unsubstantiated rumors and legends. One such legend claims that a combination of the debt he owed Earp and a grudge against Ringo prompted O'Rourke to return to Arizona in 1882, track Ringo down, and kill him. While some sources find this story plausible, others argue that O'Rourke, like Holiday, would have been reluctant to re-enter Arizona with a murder warrant hanging over his head, especially to commit another murder. While serving time in Yuma Territorial Prison for killing his wife, Buckskin Frank Leslie reportedly confessed to a guard that he had killed Johnny Ringo. Leslie was known for his fringed buckskin jacket and had a reputation as a dangerous man in Tombstone, Arizona. He had previously killed 2 men in self-defense and was involved in various violent incidents. Few believed Leslie's confession about Ringo, suspecting he might have been trying to gain favor with Wyatt Earp's inner circle or seeking notoriety. Leslie's claim was further doubted because he was known for his colorful and often exaggerated stories about his life. Despite his reputation, many thought Leslie's confession was just another one of his tall tales.
All right, let's go visit the grave. Now, from my understanding, there's a house that's sitting over here by the property owners, and it was built shortly after Johnny Ringo's, let me just say, little mishap. Okay, you are entering private property, enter at your own risk. Watch your step. There is no maintained trail. Do not litter, no smoking. All pets must be on a leash at all times. No picnicking or loitering. This is not an area for hiking. Thank you. So, and as you can see, this is where we're heading, up here.
One at a time.
This is the house. It was built shortly after Johnny Ringo's death. And look at the farm equipment, the old farm equipment.
See all the old farm equipment there?
The remains of this noted gunman and outlaw lie here. A teamster traveling from West Turkey Creek found the body sitting in the fork of a nearby oak tree with a bullet hole in his right temple. A coroner's jury reported the death to be suicide, and Ringo was buried on the spot. There were others who viewed the body and maintained that the July 13th, 1882 death of Ringo was murder. And there's the tree. Now we just toured Johnny Ringo's gravesite, and we're going to head up into the mountains up here. You're welcome to come along with us. I'll set up the camera on the Bronco so you can see the ride up there. It's really beautiful. I'll put some background music on there too. So you're welcome to come along with us. They've got some primitive campsites up in this area. Let me show you the what it looks like from here, as you can see. So we're going to head up that way if you want to stick around with us. And like and subscribe. Hi, folks. For those of you that have stuck with us through this last little bonus footage, we're going up the mountain, and you check this out, what we found. Let's see. You can see it here. Here, let me get a better shot. Go down there. They got a little path down here, and it's like ruins of a stone house.
Part of the stone wall over
Hmm. Oh, yeah. You don't have your microphone on, so they probably can't hear you. So there's a stone wall over there.
there. And here, it looks like there was supposed to be something right there too.
Yeah. So let's check this out. Well, they had electricity. So,
Yeah. Well, you can tell there's been a fire.
ah, yeah, rattlers and
Yeah.
things will get you. Don't want to run into any more rattlers. There's a fireplace right there.
And you can see the back wall.
Yeah,
And there looks like there was stuff on the side of the house, and then this looks like it was a detached piece.
yeah.
But look at the view behind their house,
Oh, wow, yeah.
and then turn this way, and look what they got to look at every day.
Wow. Yeah, it's beautiful through here. This is something else. Wow. Wish I knew more of the history on this.
And there's nothing here. It was just a coinkydink that I happened to see it.
So I'm thinking early 1900s because of the electricity box there. That's a shame, though. It's
Yeah, I think it would have a marker, but I did see a sign that there had been a fire through here. So
you can see it on the tree there,
yeah, you
the
can see it
burn
on the
spot.
tree.
Yeah.
When we came through back there was,
Wonder what they got back there.
I don't know, but I'm not
Well, I'm not going to either.
going back to check it out.
Nope.
But it looks really neat.
Where's the door?
I would assume that either that's the front door or the front door is over here, but there's a tree. I mean, the tree is right there.
Oh, okay.
This might have been the way to the front door,
Could have
but
been.
now the tree is there.
Yeah. Okay. I see. That looks like it might have been for water.
That's what I was thinking.
The water there. And then an old time electrical box right here. That's cool. Really cool.
There is a little path there, but I'm not willing to.
No, we don't need to do that. I don't want to get bit today.
Yeah. But that's neat with the.
Yeah. Doesn't look like there's much traffic goes through there.
No.
So, wow, look at this view.
Yeah, no, isn't it?
Hmm. Look at that tree. See,
Yeah.
that's a tall tree.
Has burn scars on it.
Yeah. It is beautiful around here. So, some extra bonus footage. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you in a little bit. Okay, guys, we made it up here to the top. Thank you for sticking around for this bonus footage of something completely unrelated to Johnny Ringo. But as you can see, look behind me. I mean, this is so beautiful. And Jack's over there. He's eating hot dog with Mama. So down here, there's a creek, and there's a trail that goes down there, and it's pretty steep. I didn't bring the right kind of boots to walk this, so there's no traction on my boots. So if I fall, don't laugh. But I'm gonna try to head down there and maybe show you guys what it looks like down there. Show you the creek. So wish me luck. Ooh, boy. Oh, it's not too bad. There are bears in this area. I saw signs. So I'm gonna need to keep a look out for bears, but they're after the food and they don't really bother people too much. Nope, I almost did it. Oh. Oh man, this is so beautiful through here. And it's cool too. It was like 90 something degrees just a few miles down. And here, I bet it's mid 70s. Looks like somebody's camped out there at one time or another. Yeah, here. Oh my goodness, look at this. Wow. Fantastic. Oh, look at this. Looks like a little pool there. Mm. Oh, wow. This is just beautiful. Ah, wow. I'd love to record just the sound of the creek and play it when I go to sleep to help me go to sleep. This is something else. Look at this. Okay, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Um, like and subscribe. Appreciate that. And share. Share the videos too with adventure seekers and their family or friends. We're going to chill out here for a while before we're heading back home. Until next time, we'll see you.